Today, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office gave its account about what happened. They released a lengthy minute-by-minute reconstruction of the rampage and their response to it. A judge ordered the release in response to lawsuits filed by many of the victims' families, who charged the Sheriff's Department with negligence in confronting the killing spree. But if there were hope that this report would put the questions about the law enforcement response to rest, it didn't, as ABC's John Miller reports.
And the school is in a pit, and I'm sorry, students, under the table, kids, heads under the table.
The sheriff's report contained teacher Patty Nielsen's frantic pleas from the Columbine library, where so many would die. And the report officially confirmed that the shooting of innocent victims lasted only 16 minutes, killing 12 students, 1 teacher, and wounding more. The sheriff's report underscored that because the killing took only a few minutes, moving in sooner would not have prevented more shootings. Some victims' families took the opposite view. If the gunmen had taken their own lives within an hour, why did it take police 2.5 hours more to reach the dead and the dying?
Due to the impending civil suits that we are involved in at the sheriff's office, further interpretation or to elaborate on the details of the report will not be possible.
Smoke is coming. Smoke, I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit done inside the library door. So I don't think I'm going to go out.
According to the sheriff's report, here is the timeline. At 11:19 a.m., the shooting begins. Moments later, a deputy assigned to the school exchanges shots and radios the sheriff's office.
Okay, so we've got a barricaded gunman then?
Yeah, I think Deputy 1 is cornered. He was taking fire.
At 11:33 a.m., the SWAT team is ordered. The shooting has been going on for 14 minutes. By 11:39, 7 sheriff's deputies, led by a sergeant, are on the scene. None of them enter the school. Students and teachers report the gunmen were inside shooting and throwing bombs.
Immediate response, SWAT call out. We've got shots being fired, Columbine High School with grenades going off.
By 11:45, a sheriff's lieutenant takes command. The decision is made not to enter the school, to wait for the SWAT teams. 11:46, frustrated that their bombs did not explode, Harris and Klebold fire into the propane tanks, finally tossing a smaller firebomb, but the larger device still does not explode. 12:06, a full 49 minutes after the shooting began, the first SWAT team enters the school. A second team does not go in, instead attempting to rescue students pinned down on the outside of the building. While teachers and students are calling into 911 and reporting shots being fired, dispatchers tell them to wait inside, that help is on the way.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a shooting going on in Columbine High School.
Okay, we've got people over there.
Thank you so much.
Everybody needs to stay inside.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Dozens of students are being rescued by the SWAT teams from their hiding places in the school. The sheriff's report went to great lengths to underscore the communications problems they were having at the scene and the confusion generated by scores of calls coming into 911 with conflicting information. Still, the report concedes that while they were getting information about where the wounded were in the school, that information was not being relayed to the SWAT teams operating inside. At 2:38, a SWAT team reached student Patrick Ireland, who they saw trying to crawl out a window. By 2:42, SWAT teams locate teacher Dave Sanders, who is dying. Because the medics are at the opposite end of the building, they don't reach him for some time. When they do, they determine he's dead. Today, a Sanders family lawyer responded.
That delay cost Mr. Sanders his life. Our expert will tell you, our medical expert will tell you, that even more than 3 hours after Mr. Sanders was shot, his wounds were eminently treatable and survivable.
At 3:30, SWAT teams enter the library. 10 students and the 2 gunmen are all dead. Parents of a student who survived the shooting were outraged that the police took so long and sent so few officers into the building.
You have emotionally traumatized children in our community. Doesn't anybody care about them? They sat in the school for 3 hours writing goodbyes to their parents. Nobody was saving them. They saved themselves.
And the Browns complained that a year before the Columbine shootings, they say they supplied police with 24 pages from Eric Harris's website detailing threats to kill students and set off bombs.
13 months, they did not respond to death threats and 3 felony complaints against Eric Harris. That's why Columbine happened.
According to the sheriff's report, investigators didn't even tell Eric Harris's own parents about the alleged death threats he made, and a prosecutor who reviewed the case told the sheriff that there was not enough evidence to bring a criminal charge. In Denver for Nightline, I'm John Miller.